6+ years ago, I was gradually getting into everything credit cards, points, and miles. And on a cold yet bright Christmas afternoon, I was itching to apply for my latest credit card to hit that next bonus. I pulled out my phone, applied, and got instantly approved for the Amex Gold Card. Since that time, there's been a roller coaster of changes, especially where it's gone through a card refresh, which is how we know it as today as one of the most popular cards in the industry as the Amex Gold. We'll start off with what the Amex Gold offers us today, and then take a trip down memory lane, and afterwards answer the actual question of, is it worth a place in your wallet? And from my side, is it going to be a lifetime keeper card? The Amex Gold Card comes with a sign-up bonus offer of 60,000 membership reward points after $6,000 in minimum spend in the first 6 months. Sign-up bonuses change frequently, so definitely do your research. At the same time, the historic high for the Amex Gold has been 90,000 points. The value of membership reward points really depends how you redeem them. It could be all the way as low as 0.6 cents per point. In other words, those 60,000 points could be worth $360 in terms of a statement credit if you redeem in that way. On the flip side, it can be as much as really you want, where if you're redeeming for business class or first class, those same 60,000 points could afford you, let's say, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of travel. From a super realistic standpoint, these points can be worth anywhere between 1 to 2 cents per point, where that 60,000 points bonus could be worth around $600 to $1,200 worth of travel. Coming to the earn rate, we're looking at 4x points per dollar spent on restaurants worldwide as well as US supermarkets. 3x on flights directly booked with the airline or amextravel.com, and 1x everywhere else. This card has a $250 annual fee, but it also comes with $240 worth of credits. The first is $120 to the Uber platform, whether that's Uber for rideshare or Uber Eats. This is divvied up into $10 per month to be used, and if you don't use it, let's say in a particular month, it's use it or lose it. In the same fashion of $10 per month, there's another credit known as the dining credit, and here it's $120 for locations such as Cheesecake Factory, Shake Shack, and others. A benefit of this card is $100 experience credit, which you get when you book a 2-night minimum stay at a property, which is a part of something known as the Hotel Collection, which is a group of hotels which is partnered with American Express for us to get this benefit. And right before we move on, this card comes with no foreign transaction fees. When I first got this card, it wasn't known as the Amex Gold. It was actually known as the Amex PRG card. In other words, the Amex Premier Rewards Gold. For context, this is how the American Express PRG card looked back in the day. The sign-up bonus is pretty embarrassing to share in the sense that Amex has its once-in-a-lifetime rule for its sign-up bonus offers. So I signed up at a time where it was only $2,000 in minimum spend in the first 3 months, and the bonus was a measly 25,000 MR points. Back in the day, it definitely seemed like a lot of value, and the main reason was that the annual fee was waived in year 1, and then it would go to $175. It increased to $195 at some point, and the earn rate was essentially 3x, just like the Amex Gold today, on flights booked directly with the airline or amextravel.com. But the interesting part was these other categories. It was 2x on supermarkets and restaurants, unlike the 4x it is today, but it was also 2x on gas stations. This doesn't sound like that crazy of a deal, but other than rotating category cards back in the day, or certain specific credit cards where you get 5% on every single dollar you spend on gas, it was super tough getting a real good value on each and every dollar spent towards gas. They eventually did away with this 2x gas earning category multiplier, which after then it basically sucked for me from a unique selling point perspective. And at the same time back then, they had $100 airline credit, which is the same thing as the $200 airline credit offered to us through the Amex Platinum, where basically you can book anything except the actual flight ticket, so other incidental fees, baggage fees, etc. And eventually that credit went away as well. I honestly wasn't going to keep the Amex PRG card into the second year because I was like, okay, I'm not really going to get that $195 worth of annual fee value or more in the longer term, at least as I saw it at face value at that time. It was around the 1-year mark where they announced the refresh that was going to happen to the Amex Gold that we know as it is today, and that's when everything changed. To me, the monthly credits, they're pretty annoying today, but back then, even if it was monthly, it really made a lot of sense because I was using Uber very heavily back in the day, and Uber Eats, I would do pickup orders, so that way I wouldn't need to pay extra fees and etc. And apart from that, the dining credit, I'd go to the mall pretty often, and there's probably maybe a Cheesecake Factory at your mall near where you are. And so that was easily spent as well over time. It was like gamification to me, where I was super into budgeting back then. And so $10, I was thinking, okay, I gotta squeeze all this value out from this $10 without overspending, without going out of my way and all these things. And so overall in a year, out of $250 of an annual fee, 240 bucks in credit makes the net annual fee of $10 for the Amex Gold. With the annual fee of $10 and then doing the math of, hey, how much do you need to break even? And so if you're getting 4x on those categories for restaurants and groceries, basically saying that, okay, even if I don't get extreme value from these points, even if I'm getting 1 penny a point, it's like I'm getting 4% back per dollar spent. Taking $10 divided by 4%, you're basically getting 250 bucks that you need to spend in a whole year just to break even on this card, which is basically absolutely nothing. Especially when I used to tell myself it's like I'm getting 2 cents per point, so then it's like 8% back, so then it's 125 bucks to be spent in the whole year. You know where I'm going with this. The most interesting time I've had with the Amex Gold Card was during the pandemic, where that dining credit for Cheesecake Factory or Shake Shack or other locations, I was like, wait a second, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna get usage out of this. So now I was thinking, I don't know how long this pandemic's gonna go on at that time. And so 120 bucks is what I was spending basically because I wasn't able to recoup it so easily was kind of my foresight at the beginning of the pandemic. I was deciding whether I upgrade, downgrade, maybe even cancel this card and kind of what next steps to take just given the scenario. I say this because even at the time, I had rotating category spending cards such as your Discover It or Chase Freedom Flex. And with those cards, you're at least getting a floor rate of 5% cash back per dollar spent if groceries is that rotating category. 5% cash back versus 4x in points, I take the points any day. But at that time, I really was kind of uncertain of which way do I proceed from here. Fast forward to today, the Amex Gold Card basically seems like a no-brainer as long as you're able to get value from those freaking monthly credits. And at the same time, I would say the Amex offers, which are offered through the Amex Gold, are going to be better than, let's say, the Amex Cash Magnet card or maybe the Amex Blue Cash Everyday. For whatever reason, I have definitely seen that the offers are like way better on the Amex Platinum, Gold, and Green to some degree, and just better overall than kind of all the other cards in general. If you're comfortable learning a little of the game and transferring your points from the Amex Gold to airlines and hotels, you can definitely get a lot more value than just, let's say, 4x equal to 4% cash back. And at the same time, if you're not getting value from those monthly credits, then that's a different assessment to be made. But if you're going to break even on them or you just value them at a certain rate where the Amex Gold Card makes sense for you mathematically, then I see it as a no-brainer. If they increase the annual fee on this card and just add a couple more BS credits, then it's another equation of whether or not this card is worth to keep in the long term or not. But until then, I would say it's pretty much a keeper card. I've had the Chase Sapphire Reserve for 7+ years now, ever since the first day it came out. And I share my experience right over here. So check it out. I'll see you there.